Time for a plant haul. This is Crystal at the Rain Dance Ranch. And some of these plants I've had for a little while, and some I just recently got. Well, yes, 2 of them I recently got. And then there's seeds too that I'm super stoked about. So, let's talk about some of my plants. I love this little aloe, and I actually was fortunate enough to pick it up at Home Depot, and I picked it up before I really knew about all the different varieties and how they did and what they did. And about a year ago, Costco had a really nice sale on all kinds of different succulents and aloes and things, and so I just bought a bunch of them. And this one and some that are known as blue elf were the only ones that survived. And I'm really bummed because there was also an aloe distance in there, and I really liked that one, and I just had kind of neglected them. And that one, if you grow it in Phoenix, it's probably going to need a little attention, or at least if you have it in a pot, whereas this one and those aloe elves, you can, barely take care of them and they'll survive. So anyways, this one, I do not remember the scientific name on it, but it even had the scientific names on the plants at those ones at Costco, and I'd have to dig it out. But I do really like this really nice growth habit, and I do remember it said alligator aloe, and so I've looked up alligator aloes, and it looks like there are several different kinds that people call it alligator, but I just really like the growth on it. And it was a little smaller. It hasn't grown that much since I put it in this pot, and it seems like a really nice size for this pot, so I'm really happy about that. But I sure would like for it to get pups, and I haven't seen it get any pups, so hopefully we'll get some. All right, so on to a new plant that I just got. Look at this pretty plant. And I have seen these around over the years, but I haven't seen them a lot, like in person. Okay, this isn't working out as nicely as I thought. Come on. Should have gotten ready for that. But look at how beautiful that is. I love the way it dangles down. But anyways, I had seen these around here and there in person, like in people's planters in various different places, or maybe I'd seen them in pictures. I don't know. And I always assumed that they were like some kind of agave or some kind of aloe. I just had no idea. But that one got broken. It's called a dickia. D as in dog, Y-C-K-I-A. I believe is how it's spelled. I'm not sure. It might just be 1K, but it's D-Y something. So if you try to look it up, the right spelling should pop up. I mean, come on, how awesome is this? Now, one of the things that I really like about it is that it proliferates, and it looks even better. Like when sometimes aloes can look really good proliferating, but sometimes they get a little funky. They don't always look that great without intervention. Just depends on the aloe. These look amazing. So yeah, you look up some photos. I wish I had something. If I knew how to edit, I would put in a photo. But when they proliferate, they just look great. They don't look like, oh, I got to do something about that. You're like, oh, you don't want to ruin that. And the way they hang down. So if you have it in a pot, it just hangs down and like hugs the pot. It's like thriller, spiller, and filler all in one plant. I mean, it's the best of everything. And it has like an agave look. But you wonder if it's an aloe, you know, and it proliferates and it looks beautiful like aloes and agaves. But then it hangs down like these tillandsias, which is definitely, I think these are in the succulent realm of plants. But, you know, it's an air plant. Okay, I don't leave it here hanging on this plant. I've got it hanging on. I just did this for the video. Go back. I had it all nice and balanced, and then I touch it and it starts drooping all over the place. But look at how cute this little guy is. And I haven't been able to identify him. But that pink stuff is not paint. That's natural occurring pink leaves. And you can kind of see it on the newly forming ones that they are turning pink. I mean, is that cool or what? And he just keeps growing. And I just water him once a week. And he seems really happy. He loves it here. And I love him. And I will love him forever. And apparently they get big. Well, bigger. I mean, I don't know how big these will get. We'll see. But I'll keep you posted on this one. I got this last spring, like in May. Yeah, May of, when did I get it? May of 20, yeah, this year, I guess, 2021. I can't keep track of my years. Okay, so since I'm talking about plants, this plant right here is a serrano. And I don't know what I'm doing. It's blooming, it's not forming fruit. It needs to get pollinated, I'm assuming. And then I also have heard that they sometimes do better if they're planted next to a hibiscus. So I'm on the lookout for hibiscus too, because, you know, hibiscus, why not? If it helps my peppers grow, then great, so be it. And this plant was actually compliments of my neighbor, Jay, my fabulous, wonderful, awesome, badass neighbor, Jay, who I will talk about in another video. But he bought this like at Home Depot and decided he didn't want to worry about it and passed it on over to me. So then, over here, I'm going to be selling these, but I don't have any ready yet. They take this a year, when did I start propagating these? It was about a year ago that I started propagating these from another plant in our neighborhood. And a year later, I have this beautiful plant that I could sell. But this is going to be my mother plant to propagate and make more plants. So next fall, I'm going to have some of these available. This is Nile grass. And the plant that I got it from was probably about maybe 2.5, 3 feet tall. And this is about how big of a spread they get. I mean, some of them might be slightly larger than that. So they're not like, I think the king tut that you get at Proven Winners, it grows taller, and these might be bigger in diameter. I'm not sure. But they don't grow like that king tut from Proven Winners, where they really just, you see these spiky things coming out, and then it's kind of like bushy underneath, I guess. I don't know, I've never owned one of those, but they're more like the medium-sized, I think they're called, I don't remember. Proven Winners has like 3 sizes of these that they've somehow cultivated to grow to various heights. So you've got like a small, medium, and large, and I can't remember the names of them. One's like a prince tut, one's a king tut, and maybe they only have 2 sizes. I don't know, I don't remember. But another name for this is Nile grass, or papyrus. I love it. Now it will get little browns. It'll turn brown, like the edges will turn brown, and it'll still be alive, but I just usually cut those out, and then it kind of just gives room for more new growth. So I had kept this out in the sun, and it started turning brown, and I spent like an hour just trimming off like the little tips. Like none of them are too bad right now. Like you can see, like right here, it browned even more after I cut it. And there was like the whole plant was like that, probably 90% of it. And I spent a long time cutting all those tips off, and it looked great. It didn't even look like it was hacked up. And there was some new growth coming in that, you know, and then I cut a bunch all throughout to propagate. Like I probably took 20 of these cuttings, and then it started to look even better. Like it likes to be trimmed out and propagated. So if you buy one of these from me, I will encourage you to propagate it, and you can have more. Maybe I will sell them when they are smaller, and then you can grow it on, and then you can get your own cuttings, and you could make a bunch of these. They're real easy, but they do seem to like a lot of water, and sometimes days I skip a day and they're fine as long as it doesn't dry out down here. And they will grow without drying out, but I just find that they just seem to do better with like water every single day. And I'm not sure how it's going to be in the winter, because you propagate them in water. And then it was March when I put them in this container from the water, and they'd been sitting in the water for a long time, and they were like practically like little plants already. They weren't wimpy when I put them in there. They had grown. I had let them just grow in the water for a long time, so they just took off. So, but I haven't really lived with them in soil throughout the winter when it gets colder. So you could probably get away with watering it like maybe 2 or 3 times a week in the winter, if you have it in a pot. Now, the one I got was from a plant that is growing out in complete 100% sun, and it does not have brown tips. But I've seen these growing in like at an apartment complex, and it was growing in full sun, and obviously it was still alive, but it had a lot of brown tips. Now, maybe that other one that's growing in full sun, somebody's coming and trimming it, but I don't think so. I just have a feeling that's not happening. But anyways, a little bit too much information about the Nile grass. I really wanted to just kind of show you what I got going on here. But I love this thing. So cool. It just looks good. Like, especially if you want a little tropical zhuzh. Now this guy. Oh. This is a candelilla. And I wanted to order some of these, and I had ordered some other stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'll wait on that one. And I was at somebody's house, and they had a bunch of these, and I asked them if I could have some, and they said yes. And this one is a true cutting. I just put it in this morning, so let me pull it out. It's a true cutting with no roots or anything. So I stuck that in there just to see what'll happen. And the rest actually had roots, or near roots. See there? So, and they were kind of easy to pull out. There were just some little stragglers on the end. These kind of spread out. So in time, this will spread out and fill in this pot. And I think that that's going to be the plant I want in this pot. But in the meantime, I'm probably going to put some kind of annuals in here. I have like some pink baby's breath that I think I'm going to try in here. So we'll see what happens with this. This should get pretty exciting pretty soon. But let's get a close-up. Wait. See, I love the look of this when it gets mature. I mean, this could be very useful in like in a dried arrangement, or in a flower arrangement, or just, I love the way they look as is. And I do have some really nice photographs of it growing in people's landscapes. I'll have to do another little discussion about that. So here's my new seeds I just got. I was up at the Desert Foothills Gardens Nursery on Cave Creek Road in Cave Creek Carefree area. Kind of a hop, skip, and a jump if you live in North Phoenix. And I did buy a red bird of paradise, which I don't have handy right now. There's really nothing to see there. But I will say, if you are looking for red bird of paradise, they have a really good deal on red bird of paradise up there. $7.99 at Home Depot. I don't think you can get them less for 15 or 20. I'm not sure though. It's been a while, but I remember them being more expensive last time I checked. And then sometimes they don't even have them. So whenever I go to a nursery or I'm at Home Depot or sometimes even, and I'm like, oh, there's some seeds I've been really wanting to get, and they might have them here. And then that way I can save $3 or $4 on shipping, because people charge a bunch of money for the shipping. And I understand why and how that all works, but because I sell online, but it sucks when you want to buy stuff. So if I'm somewhere and they have something I've been looking for, I will, maybe pick one or two of the things up. So I have been definitely wanting to try saguaro. So yeah, look at how pretty the package is. Now these might be really old seeds, because look at the date, 1992. So it'll be interesting to see if these sprout. Now I have never had a problem with old seeds sprouting. I've sprouted seeds from 2013, and I think some that might have been even a little older than that. Yeah, it seems like 2008 or 2009 or something. I had some from Seeds of Change. Cilantro. Now there are certain seeds that just have to be newer apparently, but I haven't really had much of a problem. What I have had a problem with is marigolds. I can't get those things to germinate. Like, what the heck? Anyway, so I'm real excited about that. And there's 25 in there, and I hope they grow. If not, they were $3. What are you gonna do? And then I got these Mexican gold poppies, which I don't know if you've ever seen. Usually it's in February, March they come up. I think some of them come up in February. Maybe, I don't know if it's this one, but this one might come up at a later date. I'll have to look at it, or you could pause and read and see if it says something on there. But I like these because these are like the ones that are kind of like naturalized here, and you see a lot of these growing all over the place, and it's just always a wonderful surprise when you drive up through a neighborhood and like 4 people have their whole front yards filled with these poppies, and it's just so fabulous. Or like the side of the road where you have like a ugly gray block wall going all along this sidewalk in the road, and there's like nothing hardly in the landscape area, and then every spring you get a beautiful flush of these things. I just love them. Plus it'll be interesting to see if they have those interesting seed pod heads that people like so much for like dried flower arrangements. And definitely if I get these to come up, I will save the seeds and then let them, spread some of the seeds as well. But it says that you can get good results if you let it freeze for 2 weeks, and they could come up in the fall. So I'm super stoked about that. At least I could have sworn that's what this said. I don't know, I just can't read it right now. So that is my plant, this was a haul because I just got it. This one I've had since last spring. This one I basically started a year ago. This one I got last spring, and this is a new plant haul. So this one's Candelilla, Nile grass or papyrus, Dickia. Oh, and this is the Marnier white or something. And then this is some kind of alligator aloe that has just, it's just such a nice looking aloe. Very classic. The thing, I have a bunch of medicinal aloe, and don't get me wrong, I love that plant. And it does great in the landscapes, and I love it when they flower, and you know, they're medicinal and all that stuff. But there's just something nice about these, and the medicinal ones tend to get kind of ugly colors in the summertime, and I put a bunch of my medicinal aloes. Do I have one handy? No. In pots, in like those 1 gallon nursery pots, and I have been keeping them in like 45% shade, like under a shade cloth, and they're still kind of like this bluish purple color, and they're not, it's not like an attractive blue. Let's see, I thought I had the other one over here. Okay, well, anyways, I'll have to do another video about my aloe now. So anyways, looking forward to doing some more plant hauls. Say hello to my little friend, or I guess say goodbye to my little friend. And he has like grown a lot since I got him too. Oh my God, I love this thing. Okay. When it rains, go out and dance. Have a great day.